Hello, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Jack Blade, and it's been a while. I will talk more about what's happening going forward at the end of the video. Thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting me throughout all of what's been going on. If you haven't seen it, you can check out the post on my YouTube page, and you can, there's more context for people who don't know what's been going on. And today we'll be looking at how to set up a creative world in Satisfactory and how to use it. Incidentally, it also doubles as testing a new way for me to handle things behind the scenes, which allows me to make decent quality videos that I can stand behind and be happy with, while I'm still looking for work or working, while not hurting myself. If it's all good, if it works, it will also double as the trailer for a new Let's Play series that I will be making, where I will be trying to go back a little bit to the basics and do what I started with, which was a beginner's guide. So let's get into this. Let's first talk about why. Why do you need, or why do you want a creative world? Well, first of all, setting up a creative world enables you to take a breather from the survival experience and the what do I need thinking versus what do I want thinking. And you can do that while refining and testing creative ideas and mechanical setups and figuring out, does it work? Does it not work? And blueprint design and experimentation especially can require a lot of this. And you don't necessarily have to worry about things like running out of biofuel in the early game. That is something that I am literally struggling with in this save. And you can be messy here. You can be messy in your creative world so that you can be clean and organized in the main save. You can test out your weird things and know that, okay, that didn't work, and this is how I can lay this out, and this is, you can test all of these things out in your creative world. It will also save you so much time and effort testing an idea. This is me testing an idea, this footage that you're seeing right now. This is a smart factory concept, iteration on Nilau's bus concept versus a concept that I've been experimenting with when it comes to using smart splitters for running single setup for making a bunch of parts to then run on, so you don't have to build a bunch of it's a concept. And do I think that it's failed? No. But I would have been prepared for the amount of work that is required better if I had made a creative save as well to test out some concepts before I started out recording this. So yeah, that's then essentially why a creative world can be a lifesaver. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this, remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and do all the cool stuff that helps me maintain my presence on YouTube. And let's get into how to set this up. The first thing we need to do is exit the game. Instead, we need to look at this, the mod list. And this is for me, the bare minimum, barely it's not a vanilla plus, it's literally just vanilla with some added on functionality and quality of life stuff that very much helps. It helps me as a content creator, but it definitely helps in a creative world. So you can look at these mods. If you don't use mods, just ignore this step and we'll just continue on to the next one. For those who do use mods, this is important. Make sure that you save your list, right? CC mods is the one I'm using, content creator mods. This is what I use. It's important that you save it and you use it for both your main world and your creative world. This is to make sure that transitioning between them is as smooth as possible. You don't need to leave the game. You can just load up your creative world. You can load up your main world, and there's no difference between them in terms of the mods and functionality and stuff. And yeah, this is my suggestion if you don't necessarily want a bunch of mods, but you want something that helps you in creative and also supports you a little bit in the main world with the quality of life stuff. The first thing we need to do is create our main world save. This is where you will be playing the game. This is where you will be building your factories, and this is where what it actually happens. So I will just name this main world save, right? And I am going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick the Rocky Desert as my start. And here's the thing. You can pick your settings. You can do whatever you want here. And this doesn't really matter. It's entirely up to what you want in terms of the save. I'm going to enable this because I don't necessarily care so much about the intro here. And then I can just go and say start game. All right, I'm in the world. I have my main save. And I can go in here. I can save the game. I can say main save start. Bada boom. Done. Then, from here, I go back to main menu. We have our next save we need to make. This is going to be the creative save. And we're going to go for main creative save, like this. Then, we're going to head in here. Big warning, you won't be able to get achievements, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. Okay, gameplay. No power. We want to have no unlock costs. We don't have to care about fuel. Unlock alternate recipes instantly. We want no build. We want this. We don't necessarily, if you don't use mods, turn on flight mode. If you use mods and you use pack utilities, you don't need this. Pack utilities flight is better. Then you can go into progression. And you can say unlock all tiers. You can unlock everything here, unlock all research in the MAM, and unlock everything in the Awesome Shop. Now we have our save set up, our creative save, and we go there, start game. Once in here, you can just open up your menu again and go for the main creative save start. Right? So now you have two clean worlds, one in which you will play and one in which you will experiment. Here you go. So you have both of these set up. The pen indicates there is a, like that it's using the advanced game settings, and the other one just doesn't. So now you have your creative save set up. And we have credits rolling because we finished the game. Woo. We now have no credits, and I can actually show you stuff in here. So this is my suggestion. The first thing you do, if you're using pack utilities, you just go fly, and then you can fly. Like so. And it's one of the big things here is that you can fly very, very quickly, and you don't stop flying because you touch the ground. That's very, very nice when you use pack utilities. If you're using the advanced game settings flight, you just double tap space to start flying and double tap it again to stop flying. Now, I can just fly around here and look, and what I'm going to do to set myself up, I can just open here and go to foundations, and I can open up no filter. I have all the foundations, right? But I want the foundation that means I can very easily measure things out. So I'm going to pick this. Attach it to world grid. I'm gonna go vertical soup, and I'm gonna go. We can go however high we want to, by the way. So that's 6,000. I think 20 is enough, right? So 20 foundations high, and then I'm gonna use the infinite zoop. This is the infinite soup already, but infinite zoop, and I'm gonna switch to zoop, and I'm gonna do this. Boom. And then it's going to be a little bit laggy because there's a lot of foundations being placed. Holy crap. Okay, there is one thing we need to set up immediately. If you're using mods, press Control L. And as you can see, time is passing. I don't like this. So I'm going to play God here, and I'm going to pause time. And I'm gonna set this to be, let's see, something that is nicer for the video color. There we go. I'm gonna save settings. I'm gonna sync with system time. No, I don't want to sync with system time. Nope. Screw that. And give me my nice yellow hue there. Perfect. And with this, time is standing still. We will never have night. That is very, very nice. And let's move on to the last part here. Because now you can test anything you want in here. You can set up and test any creative stuff that you want to. And nothing will cost anything. You have everything unlocked. If you look here, everything is unlocked. Everything is unlocked. You got access to every single buildable in the game. And nothing can stand in your way. Once you have all this set up, what I want to talk to you about is blueprints. Blueprints are quintessential to scaling up and like getting rid of tedious work moments in the game that would take hours can now take minutes. If you know this stuff, like, it's not for you, but if you are new to the game or this is something that has confused you, this is definitely something you should stay for. I always use Blueprint Designer Mark III for my blueprint. And you're like, why? Because I can't edit them now. Well, there is a very good reason why. And that reason is very easily seen if I do this. Size. In Satisfactory, size limits you mechanically in certain ways, especially when you're working with things like railways and belts and pipes and stuff like that. And certain machines are so big that if you try to use them here, they don't work, but they do here, and stuff like that. Plus, if you have a bigger blueprint, it's easier to make bigger infrastructure blueprints for like roads, railways, power setups, and stuff like that. So I use this. This also means that if you have downloaded any of my blueprints from my Google Drive, then they're Mark III. And if you have a world that you don't have it unlocked the Mark III Blueprint Designer and you want to edit it, you can do it in one of two ways. If a blueprint is like this, I'm just going to save you. Hello? Save blueprint. You have to edit it in the Mark III Blueprint Designer. The reason for this is because it's the only place it fits. But if the blueprint is like this. Oh, that was wrong. If the blueprint is like this, there, then what you can do is you can go into blueprints and you can take this and you can place it manually into this and then save it small. Is small blueprint. Okay? So now you have a version that you can edit in your world. That's one option. Or you go to your creative world and you just load it up in the Mark III Blueprint Designer and ta-da. Another thing that happens to keep in mind is when you move them across saves, if you've set up like a bunch of categories and subcategories and you've set up a bunch of stuff here, they are not saved between save states. So if you move them from one folder, like game save blueprint folder, to another, what will happen is you will have no categories and subcategories and no sorting done. Keep that in mind. It's not something I can fix. That is something that is like part of how the game is made. And it sucks, but that's the case. Now, I've been talking a little bit about how to move files around, so I will show you how to do that. I'm putting a file path on the screen right now that will show you where you can find your blueprints on your computer. And if you go there, this is what it will look like. So now we're in the blueprints folder, and if we go into the main creative save here, you can see the ones that I have made. And something that you will notice is that there are two files. One of them is the Satisfactory blueprint, and the other one is the Satisfactory blueprint config. And the config, if we go back to the game, is this. If I go here, oh sorry, that was the wrong button. Me did a dumb there. If I edit this and I change the icons, let's say that I'm setting this to be, I'm just putting a color here. Let's say that it's super orange now. So that color, boom. This here now, I can't change the name, but I can change everything else. If I want to change the name, I need to change that in the folder file name. And remember, you need to change both the config file name and the like blueprint file name, and they need to be exactly identical or it's not going to work. And with that, you have like the colors and the symbols and stuff like that. Those are saved, but once again, it will not add the subcategories or categories. They will not be transferred when you copy them across saves. And to do the copy across saves, quite simple. You would literally just take, like if I want all of these blueprints, I would take them, I would copy them, and I would go to whichever, as you can see here's a bunch here. I go here and I paste them in, boom, that's done. Now they are in this save as well. So if I load that save up, we will see the blueprints and we'll be able to use them. Now, if you want access to all of my blueprints, you can find those in my Discord. There's a link to my Google Drive. If you want to go to my Discord, that's in the description. And you can pick up any of the blueprints completely free. There's no paywall, no nothing. You just come and hang out in the Discord, have fun, chat about whatever. We've been talking about a bunch of stuff. Even when I've not been making videos, people are helping each other and they're being a really, really good community. I'm really proud of everyone. And now that I'm quote unquote back, I'm not going to be making the quantity of videos that I used to. It might be a video here, it might be a video there. I will do my best to be somewhat consistent, but I don't know yet exactly how much I can do. And I want to just thank everyone who's been here for the entire time that I have essentially just not been making videos, and I've been dealing with my real life stuff, like not having a job, not having an income, not having a life of my own, essentially. And it's looking a little bit better. I'm getting some social benefits paid out to me now, and I'm getting some support from the like municipality to find work, and to find work that is adapted for me with ADHD and stuff like that. That is essentially what's been going on. I've been feeling a lot better. I both physically and mentally. As for the breakup, I don't think I can fully process that until after after I have started getting my own life, like when I'm starting to looking beyond the initial, like the immediate crisis of no income, nowhere to live, nowhere, like all that kind of stuff. Once that's done, then I can actually sit down and go like, hey, how am I actually feeling? What do I actually what do I actually want? And that is a difficult question for me. I think it's a difficult question for anyone, but I have additional things that I need to consider. For one, for those who don't know, I'm demisexual. This means that while I present as straight most of the time, I am not. And it takes more because I'm not just trying to figure out how I work in a heteronormative society. I'm trying to work out how I work in society. So yeah, there's additional stuff there. My friends and family around me have been incredibly helpful, and this includes Empress. She and I are still great friends, and like we were there for each other for 10 years, and there is no way you go through that without either becoming the worst enemies or best friends. And we are definitely not worst enemies. And I just hope I will see you guys in any future videos. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to do all the YouTube stuff. Love you. See you in the next video. Bye!